Hello everybody, I'm Scottie the Trainer. Welcome to Scottie the Trainer Tuesdays. For the last few weeks, I've been dealing with a series entitled Encountering Emotions. I talked about that a couple of videos back. You can check that out. Last week, we talked about the emotion of anger, seeing red when the light is green. Today, I want to talk about another emotion. I want to talk about another situation that can impact us. I want to talk about being better than bitterness. Being better than bitterness. You know, one time I read about a man who had migraines for 20 years. Just paralyzing migraines. And he went to a counselor. And as they were talking, he found out that this man ended up having tremendous bitterness towards his ex-wife. And so the counselor finally got to the point to where he said, well, how long have you been divorced? He said, 20 years. He said, so you've been divorced for this woman for 20 years and you've held bitterness against her? And he said, yes. And ever since that time, that's when the migraine started. Then the doctor found out, he said, that's amazing that you've been away from this woman, separated, divorced for 20 years. He goes, that's nothing. 10 of those years, she's been dead. Now think about that. For 10 years, this woman was dead, gone, a dead person. Because of the bitterness he had towards her, kept affecting his own body so that the migraines would continue. Well, with counseling and over time, he was able to get past all of that. And as he was able to get past all the hurt and all the pain, he was able to bury that bitterness with her. She's been gone 10 years, buried. He buried that bitterness. And as he was able to release that bitterness, the migraines went away and he became a whole person. Now, there are a number of things that I want to say here, and I don't have a lot of time to do that, but I do want to share with you how that bitterness and being bitter over a situation only ends up affecting you. It only ends up affecting me. And there are some things that I want to say in regards to bitterness. We can be bitter towards people. We can be bitter towards circumstances. We can be bitter towards things that people have said to us. Sometimes you can meet somebody and you don't even know who they are, but they resemble someone. They resemble someone that you knew that irritated you. And you could be bitter towards a stranger that you don't know anything about. Why, I know a lady right now that she would be driving down the road and see somebody and say, oh, they look like so-and-so. I couldn't stand them. I can't stand that person either. You don't even know who they are. But bitterness will cause us to do that. That's why you and I have to rise up and learn to be better than the bitterness that can attack our lives. Let me give you 3 things that I think will help in regards to bitterness. And as I said before, I don't give you this as if I've never been through this and I've overcome all these things. I have bitterness in my own life that I have to be better than. People have done things to me and done things that I thought it wasn't fair. But you know, life's not fair, is it? Life's not fair. But we have to learn to be better than the bitterness. Let's talk about it. Number 1, confront it. You cannot change anything you will not identify. If you can't identify what's going on, you'll never be able to change it. So you have to confront it. So if you're angry with someone in your life, angry with a partner, with a spouse, with a child, with your parents, with a brother or sister or a friend, you can't run around acting like nothing's bothering me, because when you're bitter, everybody knows it. You can walk into the room and act like everything's fine and wonderful, but let that person walk in that you're bitter towards, and guess what? People will pick up on the fact you're not that good of an actor. You don't get the Oscar today. So you can't change anything without first confronting it. Be truthful about it. And the fact is, if you're offended, you're offended. Own it. You'll never be able to own your success until you first own your failure. So go ahead and own it. If you're angry, you're angry. If you're bitter, you're bitter. Acknowledge it. You can't get past it without first acknowledging and confronting it. If it's a person, state it. Go to them. Tell them, I'm offended. If things get heated, don't stand there and argue with them and make the bitterness worse. Just state how you feel and then get out. You've got to confront it if you want to see anything change. Number 2, forgive. Forgiveness is tough. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that I think that it's something that can be done overnight. Sometimes forgiveness is a work in progress. But here's the thing that I want to say about forgiveness. Bitterness only hurts the person that's bitter. It's like if I was bitter towards someone, it's like me taking poison and hoping that that person gets sick. That's what bitterness is. So you and I have to learn how to forgive this person. Now here's the thing about it. Sometimes people say, I'll forgive them when they ask for it. You know, some people are never going to come to you and tell you that they're sorry. So you and I got to be bigger and better than the bitterness, and we got to forgive them. Now here's the thing about it. Forgiving doesn't mean that you forget it. And forgiving them doesn't mean that you become a doormat. Forgiving them doesn't mean that all of a sudden now you're friends and you sit down and you have tea and crumpets together anymore either. Forgiveness just means I recognized who you are. I recognize what you did. I forgive you for it, but I'll never let you get close enough to do it again. I forgive you. Doesn't mean I become a doormat. But by me forgiving someone or you forgiving someone, you take their power away from affecting you. You're able to sleep at night because you forgive them. You're able to get up during the day because you forgive them. You can pass them and you don't have to render evil for evil because you forgive them. Not because you want to do something great for them, but because you're taking care of yourself. Number 3, stay focused. Stay focused. Your goal, my goal, is to be better than the bitterness. Our goal is to not let the bitterness rise up and destroy us. Our goal is to be better than that. Is to not let what that person say ruin your day. Bitterness, again, is like you taking poison and hoping they get sick. There's no way that bitterness is ever going to be beneficial to you or to me. You know, a Jewish rabbi once said, a root of bitterness can spring up in your life, and it will not only offend you, it'll offend everybody around you. Now, I don't want that to happen, so I have to make a choice and stay focused in my life. So when someone says something nasty to me, I got to stay focused. Do I want to be nasty back, or do I want to let it go like water off of a duck's back? Do I want to render evil for evil or bitter for bitter, or do I just want to let it go? I care more about myself. I want to be on this earth a little longer because I got some more things I want to do. I got children that I'm raising and a wife that I love and all things around me that I want to do. So I'm not going to let bitterness rise up and drive me to the grave. I'm going to find a way to be better than the bitterness by confronting it, by forgiving those people, even if they don't ask for it, and by staying focused on my goal. Whatever you encounter in this Encountering Emotions series, remember, it's only an emotion, and it will pass. I'm Scottie the Trainer. Thanks for joining me for Scottie the Trainer Tuesdays, and as always, that's how I see it.